Hey folks, MasakoX here. Before we continue the story of what if Turles had become a good guy, I would like to point you all to my newly refreshed Patreon at patreon.com/MasakoX, just to make sure the channel can keep on chugging along. Thank you very much for your time, and let's get on to the story. The audience gasped at this sight. He could have been holding back, going easy on this individual, but something in him, something almost primal, called to give this annoying stranger a small taste of his power. Whilst dumbfounded by the strength of the strike, Shin tried to punch Turles, but the Saiyan simply grabbed his fist and turned his gaze toward Kibito. There was a sense of alertness and anger. He had the feeling that if he toyed with his opponent a little bit too hard, he could intervene. A sense of genuine loyalty and protectiveness was had here. Turles could respect that, as he realized the earnestness of his worry. He smirked and blinked toward the pink-skinned individual. His opponent managed to recover while in the air and started to bombard him with light projectiles, which caused the audience to audibly express their surprise and amazement. Probably been a while since they'd seen one of those. The former space pirate then deflected most of them into the air, these blasts, with some rapid hand movements, taking even more of Shin's confidence. "I have you know," the strained individual said, breathing heavily. "I am more powerful than Frieza." Turles smiled wider, hearing that admission. "Then you should have stopped him. Good thing someone did that ages ago. And we're all way past that level anyway." Dropping that bombshell on his opponent, whose eyes widened with panic. Then he charged up and punched him in the air. Shin gasped audibly, with Kibito slowly moving toward the arena when a hand touched his arm. It was Piccolo. "He's not gonna hurt your friend. Don't worry," he said dryly. "How can you be so sure?" "Because he's a trusted friend of mine, and he's teaching him a lesson." Then, Turles jumped very high into the air and raised both of his hands, just like this, in order to strike Shin back into the arena. "And what kind of lesson might that be? He looks like just another one of those immoral brutes." "Don't get cocky, especially stepping into the unknown. It's a good lesson, even for the divine." Kibito blinked twice at the audacity. "How dare you?" "I'm good at piecing things together." For the first time, Piccolo smiled, and a bit of that fear that the pair emanated was gone. They had the advantage now. Shin then got hit in the gut, but he felt that his opponent was holding back. As he was plummeting toward the arena, he used what remaining power he had to stick the landing. As he looked at Turles, who simply crossed his arms, he gave him a slow, respectful nod and stepped out of the arena. What an unexpected turn of events, folks! It seems that Shin drops quickly out of this exciting encounter. We haven't seen anything like this since the Piccolo Jr. days. Turles is the winner! The crowd went mad, and the former pirate gently greeted it with a gesture of his hand. After it was over, Shin approached the captain with a sense of urgency. "Captain Turles, I think I see the point you were trying to bring across. I think we owe you and your friends some explanations. There might be a problem here with this tournament." "All right, okay. Let me gather everyone so we can all hear it." Turles nodded. Despite previously being smug, this one didn't feel deceitful or shady. A little overconfident, yes, but definitely not hostile. He then also contacted Amond. He might use his help for later, and as they were moving toward the backstage scene, Goku then approached the pirate.
"That was awesome! I didn't expect someone on that level though, and he knew about Frieza? He must be real interesting."
"I feel that he knows more about that stuff. He wants to talk to us. If you can gather everyone, that'd be great. I think something fishy's about to happen." Turles nodded at Kakarot, who then obviously obliged. There was also something else going on. For some reason, he felt a little bit drained, more than he should be given the amount of energy he exerted. He had also noticed Shin breathing heavily before, but this took more effort than it should, and it didn't seem like it was the doing of his opponent or Kibito. Someone else was at play here, and neither of them, the immortal god or just the space pirate, could tell what it was. So, the time came for some sense of explanation. It turns out that Shin was a supreme Kai, a chief deity, which explained the initial reaction of Piccolo, who was here to investigate and thwart the plans of the evil wizard Babidi, who was planning to revive a creature named Majin Buu. Majin Buu? Sounds ridiculous, Vegeta scoffed slightly. It is true, and moreover, they are trying to drain power from fighters. I am aware that they are agents of Babidi working within these grounds. I wanted to give them just a little bit and make them lead us toward the wizard. Fate. Huh. So that's what it was. This weird feeling that we had during a fight. Turles looked at the Supreme Kai. Correct. We are trying to bait them into leading us to their master. Honestly, we didn't bank on Earth having so many strong Saiyans.
Well, a lot sure happened, so you know.
Goku smiled widely.
Apparently so.
Are you the ones to have taken down Frieza? It seemed that this Shin was really having Frieza on his mind for a long time, but was curious to know. You can thank Kakarot or Goku for that. Turles pointed toward his more cheerful doppelganger. How much time do we have? I'd really like to see Videl's fight. Gohan looked nervously confident toward the arena. So, you're familiar with the young lady. You need to warn her. Shin looked at the boy in a serious manner. The one she is about to fight is one of Babidi's minions. That might not be a fair fight. You might want to not look. As the boy got alarmed, he rushed toward the part of the backstage where Videl was preparing for a duel. She scolded him for even suggesting that she should throw the fight. But Videl, we're not sure what this wizard is packing. That guy you're about to fight looks like a monster.
I may not be an alien, Gohan, but I've trained my whole life. Also, I'm the daughter of Hercule. What kind of message would that send to the world if I were to give up? Dad would be disappointed in me.
She glared at him. Oh, right. But be careful, will you? Gohan wasn't convinced, but he didn't want to stand in her way.
You know, it's almost cute that you're worried about me.
She hid a smile.
But next time when you doubt me, I'm gonna smack you.
Trying to hide a massive blush, not sure what the smack meant, pleasure or punishment, Gohan rejoined the others. And how did it go? Piccolo looked at the boy puzzled, already hearing what the answer would be.
She's still gonna fight, despite the risk. Oh, this is crazy.
Gohan shook his head.
Oh, I like her. When are you gonna introduce me properly, huh?
Goku smiled. Wait, Piccolo. What did you tell him? The blush stopped being discreet and overcame his entire face. Nothing none of us wouldn't have already expected, kid. Turles bumped him on the shoulder with his fist. Hey, I get it. Vegeta placed an arm on Gohan's shoulder and pulled away the young man from the rest. It is of course your natural Saiyan instinct to feel attracted to a strong sampling of the female species of your clan. Just means your warrior pride hasn't truly faded after all.
Thank you, I guess.
The older son of Goku wasn't ready to have the talk, especially with Vegeta, and luckily the announcer spared him from any further discussion. But one thing was certain, he was worried about Videl. Her opponent was, of course, Spopovich, a true mountain of a man with a weird M tattoo on his forehead. Shin then quickly explained it as a mark of Babidi's forces and symbol of dark magic originating from the demon realm.
Demon realm?
Gohan raised his eyebrows.
Yes, it sounds much worse than it actually is, but it does contain some rather bad guys.
Shin seemed like he didn't want to elaborate on the topic, so they chose not to pressure him. Meanwhile, the encounter did start up quite promisingly for Videl, her wondering why Gohan was so worried as her quick strikes were seemingly overpowering the brute, even to the point of causing some very nasty damage toward his neck. It was meant to be broken, but when it seemed over, everyone could hear a very unpleasant crack, and the villain was functional again, like it never happened. It came to a point when Videl tried her best to hurt him, but now he seemed immune to all of her attacks. She was aware that the strikes of the bulking titan would devastate her. Where her strongest attacks did nothing, she looked to Gohan only to get hit with a massive blow. Luckily, thanks to the prior training, she did manage to dodge a little bit. She wiped blood from her face with her sleeve and went for another strike, but it was no use. Whatever this wizard had done to this guy, there was no easy way of trying to win here. As he tried to go berserk on her, She took a chance and jumped over his head, kicking it. Not even a bruise. With her pride wounded, Videl decided to back down and left the arena glaring at her opponent. Gohan approached her and escorted her out. "That's okay. It wasn't a fair matchup," he said, trying to make her feel better and resisting saying "I told you so." "If not for that magic thing, I would have kicked his ass," she said through her teeth. Suddenly, both of them heard a rather loud and concerned scream. "Videl! Oh, are you all right?" It was Hercule, himself looking a little bit roughed up. His nose had a very large comedic plaster attached to it. "Yeah, Dad. Only a few bruises." She gave him a sad smile. "And a little bit of bleeding."
What exactly happened out there? What did that Spopovich do to you? Should I get someone to examine this dirty cheater? You were beating him fair and square, I tell you. You could have won."
The champion was a little bit angered.
"No, we'll do fine without it. Also, Dad, this is Gohan. I briefly talked about him before." Hello."
Gohan, still in the Saiyan costume, waved his hand rather sheepishly.
"Oh, so you're that Saiyan fella, huh? Heard from Videl you're doing some good deeds in my city. But Videl, honey, someone should see those bruises seriously. I can call a doctor."
"You told him?" Gohan whispered.
"Well, I mean, that was the only thing that persuaded him to, well, even like you or talk to you."
Videl paused as a familiar voice then interrupted them.
"Hey, long time no see, Hercule. Didn't know that Videl was your daughter."
It was Goku, cheerful as always, and he was holding a small pouch.
"Wait, you Goku, right?"
Hercule's eyes widened in panic.
"Yeah, some Gohan's friends with your daughter. Small world, huh? Here, Videl, try one of these. They'll make you feel better."
Goku handed over the pouch, filled with green Senzu beans. After a moment's hesitation, the girl took one of the beans, as did her father, and all their battle damage disappeared.
"Wait, this is your son? So that means... Hey, Videl! Where
Senzu beans. They can heal ya. Surely you remember them, Hercule."
The champion then started to sweat profusely, remembering exactly what happened and when he last saw them, but the scene was interrupted by the announcer calling Gohan out for his fight against Kibito. As the two of them stood in the arena, the Kai attendant looked at the boy rather seriously.
"All right, if you are so powerful, can you power up somehow? Maybe it will be enough to prepare our bait,"
he could hear in his head. Telepathy and all that. Gohan hesitated for a moment, not sure whether to fully trust this guy, but everyone seemed to trust him, so if this Majin Buu thing was so dangerous, then he better do his part and not deny a god his will. They can worry about the public seeing a lot of weird things later. As he screamed, the amount of energy was powerful enough to throw a shocked Kibito off balance. Gohan was hardly able to keep his durag on his head in order not to compromise the disguise. He then saw a movement within the crowd. It was the man that was previously seen accompanying Spopovich, that being, of course, Yamu. He had a very, very impressive and weird-looking alien device on him, and he jumped toward Gohan to drain his energy. The boy pretended to struggle while making a leap of faith, allowing this evildoer to do what he came to do. After that, the chase began, much to the shock of everyone in the audience. Whilst Turles, Piccolo, Vegeta, Krillin, Amond and the Kais chased after the two strange men, Goku escorted his son from the arena, giving him one of the last Senzu.
"Hey, how you feeling?"
The Saiyan looked to Gohan with genuine but mild concern.
"I'll be fine, Dad.
Thanks. Now let's catch that wizard." The boy nodded, and they went after the escapees. As the father-son duo caught up with the rest, they had already located the hiding spot of the wizard, or at least the tip of his glorious spaceship. They decided to lay low, as they saw some figures coming out of the vessel. Zunian, Turles noted, looking at the first individual coming out. And who's the tall guy?
"That's the Supreme Demon King Deborah," Shin explained. "It seems like Babidi has managed to take control over his mind. He is more powerful than I could possibly have imagined."
And indeed, this individual shared a trait with the alien and both Yamu and Spopovich. That weird M symbol on his forehead, it was there again. So, Babidi could control kings?
"Wait," Gohan whispered. "So, this Babidi is powerful enough to mind control the king of the entire demon realm? He must be crazy powerful.
Shin nodded slowly.
When it comes to the likes of magic, yes, but other than that, no. I believe, though, he is able to bring all the evil in someone's heart out to the surface.
From what I can feel, he's quite powerful. Maybe as strong as Cell,
Piccolo uttered. Everyone then looked to Gohan for a second. Well, kid, you're in luck. This is what we trained for. Let's try it as a rematch against the old Bugman.
Wait, Captain Turles, you don't plan to just...
Shin started, but Turles started to walk toward the ship. He paused when a short figure walked out. He looked quite unassuming, but with a quick gesture of a hand, he caused Spopovich to explode, with Yamu following him to Hiffle just a while later. Turles remembered his own lesson at that moment. Do not get cocky when facing the unknown. And that's where we're going to be leaving things for right now.